Hello, Tansy, and welcome to We the PPL, episode 5, part 1. This is me, myself, Will Martin, alongside buddy Jeff Salisbury here. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing okay.
Perfect. Well, we have another great sunny day up here in Saskatchewan, in Saskatoon, and we are inching closer to the very start of the inaugural PPL season. We have, as broken first by the We the PPL website and YouTube channel, that the opening game of the Prairies Premier League men's season will take place at 7 p.m. on Sunday, May 10th, as the SKXL host FC Forza in the Battle for Bridge City derby. So also announced since then is that Bonivital will host Lucania Women's earlier that same day on May 10th at 10 a.m. local time. So that will be the very first match in the Prairies Premier League. Some more news on that side with first games is that Bonivital men's side will play their first game against the Thunder Bay Chill at 10 a.m. the following Sunday at May 17th. And then Forza Soccer have also announced their first home game, which is on May 16th. Opponent and venue to be announced. So quite a lot happening. A full schedule set to be released as well. We hear from on Forza's site next Tuesday, April 7th. So check that one out.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure we'll have to press Hassan to see if we can get that leaked to us a little bit sooner. So
absolutely. So the Battle for Bridge City, we could probably come up with a better name for that, right, Jeff? Listeners,
yeah, I don't know. I'm never good at thinking these things on the spot. So, but if anybody, maybe somebody in the chat, under for this video can suggest a better name for what could be for the Saskatoon derby, at least on the men's side, anyway.
Yeah, it does lead me onto a question we got via Instagram account from Matt Kipe over in Ontario. He wants to know, what team are the members of the We the PPL going to support? And the obvious answer to that is whoever is winning, obviously. But we had hoped, and we've hoped here and advocated for years, for such a long time, for a team in Saskatoon. I think it would be egregious if we were to support elsewhere. What do you think, Ned, Jeff?
Well, I know first thing I think of is that record when we're winning. We only record when we're winning. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I kind of want to see what both sides' kits are going to look like, what Forza is going to trot out in, and what Excel is going to be wearing. I know Hassan, when we spoke to him a few weeks ago, hinted that Excel's likely going to be sporting new jerseys this season. So maybe it'll be a fashion battle that'll decide which of the two we'll put our full support behind. But I don't know. I think anytime there's a Manitoba or Thunder Bay club that's in town playing either, we'll probably be backing the Saskatoon club. So
yeah, that makes sense. I know. I think we both talked about supporting Forza's men's, maybe Excel women's there. I think you're going to see, once we interview Forza, I've mentioned this before, they've got a great kind of underdog story there. I could see them easily being everyone's favorite number 2 team in the league if they're not the first. So I don't know. Maybe do we need to have a counterpoint here? If you're supporting Forza men's, I got to go to Sask Excel. Do we need that kind of counterpoint going on?
I don't know. I guess we'll see how it evolves.
Yeah, well, I want to support the team that's winning, which will be Excel. So maybe I got to jump on that one.
Yeah, so I think we'll start things off with a bit of a PPL news roundup, and that's probably going to take up the majority of, if not the entire episode, because there has been a ton of news that's been released this week, especially player signings.
Yeah, we've had, Bonivital had announced several signings. On the men's side, Jacob Tsai, who's a highly rated young goalkeeper. He was on the books of Valor FC in the Canadian Premier League on a developmental contract at the age of 17. He has come through Bonivital's youth system there. Damien Trong is a winger come striker that's represented Guelph Griffins at university level. He was part of the gold medal nationals team in 2017 with Bonivital. And last year he was playing with Lucania FC. So a homecoming, but that's it's a shame that the Lucania men's won't be playing to have a little bit of a spicy reunion with them, but maybe a season coming after that. He's also a referee development manager at the Manitoba Soccer Association on top of that. So he'll be telling the refs how to do their job, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out to see if he has extra words for the officials.
On the women's side, I think 3 signings. So Jessica Tsai, also siblings with Jacob. She has played for the University of Manitoba Bisons, where she's been a team captain. She's an attacking midfielder. She holds a school record at the University of Manitoba with 71 games played, and also for the record of 123 shots on goal. And she's second place, only just pipped in her last season there for regular season assists with 25, which is 1 less than Olympic gold medalist Desiree Scott. So she came so close in her last season to breaking that record, which would have been a sweet one. She's 4-year captain for the Bisons and didn't miss a start in her entire career there, which is crazy. And
Iron
she also, on top of that, coaches with the Bonivital under-17 girls GP1 team there. So a lot of experience coming in there on and off the pitch. Jessica Chow is another signing that Bonivital's made. She's a holding midfielder, born in Omaha, Nebraska, but the family moved to Winnipeg when she was young, I think 2 years old. She is playing for the University of Regina Cougars. Also was part of the Valor FC Elite Girls team and Bonivital growing up. So I think she also has some League One experience, or which is now known as the BCPL. She played for Burnaby FC for last summer. Not sure how many games she started there, but has a bit of experience in the back of the bag there. The last signing was Mia Fonseca, which is she's another holding midfielder, and she's just finished her 3rd season playing at the University of Manitoba Bisons after a year with the University of Calgary Dinos there. So there's lots of familiarity between the players. They've all come up through that Bonivital system. So hopefully that's going to translate on pitch, having that familiarity together.
Yeah, it makes me wonder too if Maya's related to Canadian national coach Tony Fonseca. So I couldn't find any specific details on that. But if anybody, if any of the viewers happen to know anything about that, I'd be curious to find out as well. The Canadian soccer community is only so large.
Yeah, no doubt.
It wouldn't surprise me in the least. So, so I guess moving over to one of the other Winnipeg clubs, over to Lucania. So they have had a huge number of signing announcements already, 23 in total. So we'll start at the top. Sydney Arnold, who is a defender for them. And also they're already saying that she's going to be team captain, is come out as a signing. Cassidy Vieira, who is a midfielder. She actually plays for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. So at the end of the PPL season, we'll likely be able to see her out on the pitch for the Soccer Dogs. So she's been signed. Peyton Enns, she's a striker. And interesting story with her is that her most recent club, at least at this specific level within the PSLC, is with Burnaby FC in the BC Premier League, formerly League One BC. So that's interesting to see a player coming over from one of the other national D3 leagues and then coming back to basically play at home. Another player is Ava Bacik. She's striker and is also playing with the University of Missouri in the NCAA. So good pedigree playing NCAA soccer there. Cassidy Fedoruk, she's one of the goalkeeper signings, and she's playing for the University of Regina. So I thought it was kind of interesting to see that despite playing for the U of R, she's not going to be suiting up for Queen City, but rather is going to be playing with Lucania. So that'll be an interesting story to follow if some of her teammates from the U of R end up playing with Queen City. There could be some interesting storylines there. Hadley Anthony, another defender, and she is playing for the U of S Huskies as well. So another player that viewers local here at Saskatoon will be able to see come fall when the U Sports season kicks off. Another defender, Brianna Machado. She is also playing with the University of Winnipeg. Savannah Calgary is a striker, and she's going to be playing as well with the University of Regina in the fall. So yet another player. Interesting not to see her with QC United, but rather with Lucania. So we'll see if there's some storylines come from that as well. Then Reese Peak, she's a defender, and she's also going to be playing with the U of R in the fall. Lots of players that are playing with the U of R are playing on this Lucania side. I haven't even gotten through half of the and
I think it's 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6 that are playing with the U of R. So that's gonna be really interesting when QC United and Lucania face off. So Ava, well, I'm gonna butcher her last name, Gavea. I'm going to go with that. Apologies to her if I butchered her last name. She's a striker and is also going to be playing with Carleton University in Ontario University Athletics in the OUA in the fall. Genevieve Benning, she's another goalkeeper, plays out west for Thompson Rivers University in Canada West. Michaela DeLuca, defender, yet another one of the University of Regina players that is on this Lucania roster. Chloe Wilson, she's a defender and plays also with the University of Lethbridge. Maddie Mayers, she's a striker, plays with the U of S. So another one of the Huskies players that's on this Lucania squad. There's a few there as well. Not quite as few or as many that play for the U of S that are playing for the U of R, but still quite a bit of players that are going to be eventually playing here in Saskatchewan in the fall once the PPL season's over. Stella Klippenstein, she's a defender, plays for Thompson Rivers along with Genevieve Benning. Trying to go through these a little bit more quickly because I know we only have so much time. Casey Lamoureux, goalkeeper, and also plays at the University of Brandon Bobcats. Charlie Petroskavich, she's a midfielder and is another one of the players that's going to be suiting up for the U of S Huskies in the fall. Milan Tavares, she's a defender and is going to be playing for the University of Winnipeg Westman in the fall. A ton of U Sports players. So basically the entire roster is almost all U Sports players. So that's interesting to see. McKenna Platsko is another defender. She's going to be playing with the University of Fraser Valley come fall. Jenna Yenley, another defender. Funny, or not funny, but it's interesting thing with Jenna is that she's also one of the medics for this squad. So it'll be if she herself or any of her teammates get hurt, it'll be her probably assisting the physio crew on the pitch.
And I believe I think she's the only one that's not born in Winnipeg or grew up there from that squad. Everyone else is kind of Winnipeg based.
Yeah, exactly. A couple more players here, 3 more just before we wrap up with Lucania. So Dan and Arnold, she's a striker, and only info I could really find on her is that she's really just moving up from playing youth in Winnipeg. I haven't seen if she's specifically attached to any U Sports or NCAA program at this point. So she's one of the youth players that's just moving up into the adult game and straight to a PPL squad. I mean, that's incredible. So good for her. That'll be a younger player to keep our eyes on throughout the season. Another younger player is Riley Sloan Seal. She is a midfielder and was last with Valor FC Elite. So when Valor FC introduced their women's program, she was one of the players that was part of that program. Last player is Bryn Seren. I hope I said her last name right. Midfielder, and she's with MacEwan University in Calgary. So a ton of U Sports experience on this roster, and a couple of players who have also been with Lucania or were with Lucania last year as well, and just have a lot of playing experience. So good looking squad. I think that they're definitely going to be challenging with the best teams in the league. So.
Yeah, I mean, as for what they've listed, I'm sure there's a lot of diversity in the and versatility in the squad. They've got 3 goalkeepers, 5 midfielders, 10 defenders. So I think there must be a bit of versatility there, and then 6 forwards. But Yeah, they were one of the first to plow out all those names, which was great for us. So there must be about full, maybe a couple more players to just round out that squad. Must be about there.
Yeah, because I think I'm trying to recall what max roster size can be. We'll have to take a look again, but I think they're only a couple players off from having a completely full squad for the season. So.
Yeah, and Lucania also have released a bit of pricing information for how much it's going to cost you to go watch Lucania matches, which is very similar to the Thunder Bay Chill. Is $10 a person per match, or $40 season pass for all 5 home matches. So very reasonable for a great day out.
Yeah, they do have a couple of options too if you're looking to have a more enhanced match day experience. A couple like a gold, platinum, and as well a VIP type package situation they have. So it's interesting to see what each of the different teams is doing with that sort of enhanced match day experience. So I'll be curious to see what the Saskatchewan teams end up doing for that.
Yeah, I think as fans, that's what we're hopeful for, is that it is going to be a step up there, like it is a step up on the pitch. It's going to be a step up for a game day experience for everyone there, and I think that's the noises that we've heard, that's the goals for the league too. So fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah.
Sure. So the signing bonanza continues over at Thunder Bay. So the Chill have signed Chris Pike, who's 29, is previously the oldest member of the squad and the club captain, and I imagine probably is still the oldest member of the squad. We'll see how that shakes out. He's a central defender. He played for Laurentian University and Dalhousie University. He has some previous experience in the USL too with Thunder Bay, and also was on trial with Halifax Wanderers of the Canadian Premier League a few years ago.
Yeah, that was the most interesting thing I saw, is that he actually had a trial with the Wanderers, which is that you don't see that on a lot of the resumes, which is excellent. I mean, that's what you want to see from a lot of these players who are getting a shot, at getting a pro contract. So hopefully, we see that more moving forward, and that some of these players actually successfully make the jump.
Yeah, he's also a registered physio, so I'm not sure if that's going to be any of his role on there, but just in case, I guess they got him on the sidelines there, or hopefully on the pitch. So Nick Phillis is a 22-year-old versatile striker that they've also signed. He plays for Thomas More University in Kentucky. For them, he's appeared in 19 matches, made 18 starts for the Saints there. They play in the NCAA Division 2. And he posted a team high of 11 goals with 4 assists in 1,313 minutes of action on the season. So like Chris Pike there, he has previous USL experience with the Chill, so someone that came up through the system. And I think all of these players have come up through the Chill system, which is an ongoing theme, which is, again, it's what we want to see from all these clubs, is that we're bringing people up and getting that opportunity. They go away and then come back. But yeah, very good pedigree already for 22. This is maybe one of the more interesting and exciting signings here, is 19-year-old defender Levi Swearigan. So he is currently at Fordham University in the Bronx, New York, which is NCAA Division 1, which is the top level standard there. He played 2 seasons before that at Western Illinois, which is also in NCAA Div 1. He appeared in 40 matches there with 11X, starting 38 over the past 2 years. He's played as a winger as well as a defender and fullback. As a winger, he's scored like 15 goals and 5 assists in his high school career there in 1 year. But as a fullback, he's played for Thunder Bay Chill and has that, again, USL experience. He was also recognized by First Touch Football Canada as one of the best performing Canadian freshmen in the NCAA in 2024. So quite a big look at signing there for the team.
Yeah. I think that he's definitely a player to keep an eye on, especially at the NCAA Div 1 level too. So
yeah. And rounding up on that men's side, they've signed 2 more former Chill players, Alexandro and Mateo Iosa, who are 19-year-old twins that came through that academy, and they're both playing at Gracelands University. Alexandro is a striker, and Mateo is a right-sided centre-back. And one more is Mateo Bosch, who is a 20-year-old right-footed attacking midfielder, and he's at St. Cloud State University who was previously at Montana State before that. They've all got USL experience. So it's as we suspected with Thunder Bay Chill, they are coming with a lot of experience to come into this semi-pro game.
Yeah, I think if these signings are anything to go by, that Thunder Bay is building a very, very strong squad on the men's side. I think they are definitely going to be battling for the top, if not kind of standing at the peak for a large chunk of the season. So,
yeah, and it's the same on the women's side. A little bit younger in the signings. They announced Ella Favreau, who is 18. She's an attacking midfielder from Emporia State University. That's where she's at right now. In her first season at Emporia State, she scored 7 goals with 3 assists in 19 games, and that's NCAA Division 2. Imogen Joseph is a 17-year-old attacking midfielder that came up through the Chill programs. She's just signed on with Southern Illinois University Edwardsville in NCAA Div 1, so very high standard there. The coach at Southern Illinois University, Derek Burton, described her as a two-way player who has the soccer IQ to make good decisions on the ball, operate on her own, and also see and execute in combination with her teammates. So high praise coming in there to the program. There's a few more that they announced. Phoenix DeBrusque, who is a goalkeeper, who is currently at the University of Minnesota, Crookston, and Zoesha Person, a versatile fullback currently at Niagara College Knights. So a lot of signings there. Interesting. They've had some kind of bigger name players playing for that team before that had CPL experience, like Tyler Atado is a name I know you and I talked about the other day there, Jeff. He's still in Manitoba. I think he's in Winnipeg. So does he show up for the Chill? Does he show up for one of the Winnipeg clubs, or does he not show up at all? But Felix Nsar is another one that's played recently for that team there. So a lot of experience.
Yeah, lot. I mean, Thunder Bay is their time in USL saw a lot of really good footballers go through that program. And you know what the old adage is that success begets success. And they started seeing success way back in the late 2000s. And it just has carried through ever since. So big expectations for Thunder Bay this inaugural season for that men's team. Just with everything that they've been able to put together in the past, a lot of players with USL experience, going to be just a ton of good players out on the pitch for that squad. And on the ladies' side, even though the ladies' side is fairly new for that program at this level, at least, a lot of really good experience on their ladies' side as well.
You don't get the impression they're going to scrimp and save on that side too. They're going to be going full out on it for the women. So
yeah. So I was thinking we could switch gears a little bit and take a look at the club that we did the interview with for part 2 of this episode, and take a look at Queen City United. So I thought we would first take a quick little look at a bio for the city of Regina, where they're based. So quick facts on Regina. Regina's got a population of just a hair under 265,000. 5 youth clubs operating in Regina right now. And just some notable players that have come out of Regina in the past. Kevin Holness, former Canadian international, has been involved in soccer in Regina forever. So just tons and tons of experience just with Kevin alone in the Regina soccer system. A more recent player that came out of Regina and who only retired just a couple of years ago is Drew Becky. I want to say he was most recently with Atletico Ottawa, I believe, and is still on their staff, if I recall. So his sister Janine, now Janine Solis, but formerly Janine Becky, now Janine Solis. Technically, you could maybe say she's also out of Regina, but she really grew up in Colorado. So we just kept the Drew for this one specifically because he spent more of his youth in Regina. And then last player is John Sheppers from quite a number of years ago. But three notable players that have come out of Regina. So taking a quick look at the Regina soccer landscape as well. So on the youth side, you have the 5 clubs. Obviously, the one that we're going to be talking about in the second year is Queen City United. Came from 2 different clubs merging, but we'll get into that in a moment. FC Regina is the other big club in Regina. And it's kind of interesting because Regina, in a way, is actually a 2-club system with Queen City and FC Regina. There are 3 other organizations that are operating. So you have Westone Soccer, you have South Regina, but that's really a community soccer association. And then, interestingly enough, Forza Academy also operates in Regina. So based out of Saskatoon, but they actually do have an arm of the academy that operates in Regina. On the adult side, besides having Regina's Adult Soccer Association, with the university, there's the University of Regina Cougars for the ladies. They just recently hosted the Canadian Futsal Championship just last year, and now obviously have Queen City United participating in the Prairies Premier League. So lots of, and I mean, we've already seen that there are a ton of women's players from that U of R Cougars team that are finding their way into PPL rosters. So that's going to be interesting to see how many of that Regina Cougars team actually ends up being in the PPL. So on to Queen City United themselves. So they were established in 1987, and they were established when 2 clubs were merged together. And so in our interview with QC's coaching staff and with Executive Director Hugh Dooley, Hugh actually goes through a bit more of that history. So I'll leave it for there. The best showing at Nationals came in 1997. The Queen City United Vikings team ended up winning silver, getting 2nd place at Nationals. Other interesting history with QC is this isn't necessarily their first foray into semi-professional level soccer. So back in 2019, they actually put a team in the USL's Women's League, which was Women's United. What was it called? Women's United Soccer, United Women's Soccer, and we're in that league for a single season. Had to do ridiculously long bus trips. I know that gets mentioned in the interview as well. Yeah, I think they only stayed in that league for 1 season. I think there was a lot of insane travel that went along with what they were doing. They had one close team, of course, which was Calgary Foothills, but I think besides Calgary, they were multi-hour bus trips for that team back then. With regards to what they have for player registration, so there's over 750 players registered in that club, all the way from the youngest to the oldest. And this season's going to see both a men's team and a women's team participating in the PPL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting. Exciting to see them in here. We also, backtracking a little bit, we left out Brett Levi's, who he was born in Regina, grew up in Saskatoon. So we could toss him a bone there and give him Brett as well, maybe, as long as we get to keep him on our side. That's all right, right?
Yeah, I guess there's got to be an asterisk tied to that one. I'm not sure I'm emotionally okay with letting Brett go and being a Saskatoon boy.
Fair.
Yeah. So yeah, that's everything we have for part 1 of episode 5. Part 2 is a fantastic interview with Queen City United staff, Executive Director Hugh Dooley, men's coach Dwayne Head, and Hugh is actually also coaching the women's side. Their technical director, Josh Hartle, joined us for that conversation as well. So this is Jeff, good buddy Will, for We the PPL podcast. Hope everybody enjoyed, and have a good Easter long weekend. Cheers, everyone.